Hi everyone, you're welcome to Kemafrik. My name is Kemafrik and this video is totally unplanned for. I was just making this jacket and it got to the part where I'm about to fix my button and make my buttonhole. So I felt like showing you how to make a buttonhole using your domestic sewing machine. So I do this all the time. This is what I use in making my own buttonholes all the time, and it works perfectly well. I'm using a Janome Memory Craft 3000. So these domestic sewing machines, they work using similar principles. So probably you're using a Juki, Brothers, Singer, it doesn't matter which of the brand. And most likely really, not all of them, but most likely you'll be working with a similar principle and a method of creating buttonhole. But you can look through the manual of your own sewing machine to help you get the best setting and the best process to go about creating your buttonhole. So if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please kindly do so right away. So let's get right into the video. A buttonhole is made up of a series of zigzag stitches, and there is a screen on my sewing machine that shows you the setting you have for your buttonhole or any other stitch you may be working on. This first box here controls the width of the stitch. That's the width of each zigzag stitch that makes up the buttonhole. So you can reduce it and you can increase the width of each zigzag stitch, and you see it reflected on the screen here. The other knob here controls the density. That's the distance between each successive zigzag stitch. That kind of determines the thickness of the stitch. So when you reduce it, the distance between each successive zigzag stitch reduces and you get a dense buttonhole. And when you increase it, the distance increases and you have a sparse buttonhole. Okay, so this is what the buttonhole foot looks like, and you can set the width of the button by placing the button on the space provided for it, and you can then adjust the length and hold the button tightly. So that helps to set the length of the stitch when you are making use of a sensoria buttonhole maker. So once that stitch length is fixed, you can then go ahead to fix it on your domestic sewing machine to start the process. Okay, so whatever fabric you'll be using, I won't advise you go ahead and just sew your buttonhole directly on your clothes. Okay, you have to test and be sure you're getting the width, the length, and everything that you need for that particular buttonhole. Okay, so right now I have my machine threaded, my foot fixed, and make sure the fabric you are using has an interfacing in between. Okay, so first make use of a test fabric, which is this that I'm using, before making the buttonhole on the real outfit you have made. Okay, so you don't have any errors or any regrets. If you're using a computerized sewing machine like mine, okay, so come this way where you have BH1. So this is the first buttonhole, sensoria. Then this one is automatic. Okay, so the sensoria is the one that you can just apply your stitch length and everything, and it just creates the buttonhole for you. You don't have to turn, you don't have to stop it. It just knows the exact length based on the length of the buttonhole you have marked on the foot this way. Okay, so now that's what I'll be using. I'll click on sensoria. So I'm going to reduce the width now, which is the width of each stitch, each of the zigzag stitch that makes up the buttonhole. So you can reduce it here, you can increase it this way, so you can reduce it this way. So when you reduce it, the distance between each of the stitch kind of reduces, and that makes it look thicker. So but when you increase it, the space between each stitch increases, and that makes it look freer, kind of loose buttonhole. So I'm just going to leave it right here at 0.4. So now I'm going to place my needle down, lower my needle bar. Remember, we have set the stitch length already, and all I have to do now is to sew. Okay, so there's a stopper here, so you have to look for it. Remember, it's not this that is meant for threading. This part, this bar here is meant for threading. There's another one here that is a stopper specifically for stopping and controlling an automatic buttonhole making machine. So if you don't put this down, your stitch is just going to continue. But when you put this down, it stops at the exact length you had set on your buttonhole foot here. So this is what stops it actually and makes the stitch start going backward. So if you don't put this down, you're going to miss that and you won't achieve what you want. So once the stopper here is down, I'm just going to put my fabric. Remember, I said you should try a test making first before working on your main piece. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my foot down and we'll make a buttonhole. So first, there we go. So it's making the first straight stitch right now. So it gets to that end where the stopper stops it, it starts coming backward. Then it starts the second stitch. Okay, and there we have it. Here is our buttonhole. So once it is done, you're just going to raise your foot upward, pull it out and cut. So cut away the thread. So now we're going to make use of a seam ripper to open up the hole. So as you can see, we have a neatly finished buttonhole. So be careful not to cut through the thread, this lower part. Just pinch it a little bit with your seam ripper, then cut through. So you can use a small needle as a stopper here so that you won't mistakenly cut through the thread. So here we have it, a buttonhole. Because I've succeeded in making this on this scrap fabric, I'm just going to pick up my main jacket and do exactly this. So I don't have to go all over again on a computerized machine. I'll just come here. As you can see, it's already displaying press BH1 key. So I'll be making use of the exact setting I used in making this buttonhole for the main outfit. So I'm just going to press this BH1 key 1 and then we'll start the process again. So this is the center front part of this jacket that will be putting a buttonhole. So I'm just going to do exactly what I did on my scrap fabric, and already I marked the position. All I have to do is put my foot down, and I've already marked the position of my buttonhole on the jacket. So I'm just going to place it and start sewing right away. There we go. Okay, so we have our buttonhole made here. So now I'm just going to put my seam ripper in here and cut here open. Okay, so now we have a neatly finished buttonhole. As you can see, this is the button we made our sizing with. so it can pass through it easily. Okay, the first button we made use of this first one, which is sensoria. Okay, that it senses the end of the stitch when you place this to hold it back. So this is what helps it to sense the stitch length. So the second one I will be making is the automatic. Okay, but the automatic does not work like the sensoria. So the automatic button, if your machine is not computerized, you may not be able to use this. I'm not really sure you will be able to use the sensoria, but most domestic sewing machine will come with this other one, which is the automatic button maker. Okay, so because I want to make use of this automatic, that's this AUT, the second one here. So right now my machine is set as sensoria, but I'll just press it again. You see it has changed to automatic. Okay, so now I want to make a buttonhole using the automatic, and here is what I'll do. You have to determine the length of your button and stop at that length. Okay, you are not making use of this that helps it sense the length. So when you want to make use of the automatic button, you're going to push this as far back as you can. Okay, the space for button here, just push it as far back as you can, because right now it's dependent on you. You are not making a particular length or anything. So before fixing the buttonhole foot, push it as far back as you can. Okay, so now you're going to determine the length of the buttonhole you want. And okay, after setting this at automatic, you can then decide you want to reduce the stitch length or the density. Okay, this is actually the density, that's how thick the zigzag stitch appear. So you can reduce the density, increase the density, or reduce or increase the length here. Okay, so let's work with this right now. And now I'm just going to sew So I'm just going to make a long buttonhole, just as long as I want. Okay, so this is the first step. So right now my machine is sewing the zigzag stitch, so you can see it. Once I'm satisfied with the length of the button, I'm going to stop. Okay, so let's do this. So I've stopped pedaling, and now I'm just going to press this reverse button right here. So I'm just going to press this. Okay, so that kind of control the stitch and makes it start sewing backward. So it's sewing backward. Right now I don't have to worry again. So once I get to the part where I want it to end, I'll press this reverse button again. Okay, and that kind of finishes the stitch and ends everything. So my machine has automatically stopped by itself. So now I'm going to pull it out and show you this. So because I'm through with this, my screen here is telling me same size. So if I want to do the next, if I want to make the next button, I don't have to control as I just did. I don't have to go through all that again. I'm just going to put in my foot, and it's going to sew exactly the same size of button I had the first time. So it automatically reverses itself, and you just have the same size of button that you made the first time. So we have the same size of button we made the first time, and that's just how to use this automatic buttonhole maker. So unlike the sensoria that just sews round by itself depending on the stitch length you have set here, the automatic allows you to decide the size, stop at the point you want to stop, and then subsequently you have the same size of button. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. If you are yet to subscribe, don't forget to do that and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.